Hello everyone. I would like to make this hopefully short video as a little addition to the guide I have posted on Reddit. Mind you, this is my first video I make with voice, so I'm hoping that my Eastern European accent is not going to be a problem here. I would like to show on this video how to place all the parts of the blueprints I have shared for the factory, and also explain a little bit how some of the parts of the factory work, because ever since we got liquids, some of these parts are unfortunately constructed outside of blueprint range, so it will require a little bit of explanation. So without further ado, we will start with the main factory. I will remove everything I have in here, just so that we can start from scratch, aside from the main factory. So first of all, you will most likely have problems with placing this AAC in the exact spot. You might want to put this to the side for now, and also you want to set every output to this nice red rock coprium. So every output is like this, just so you don't have problems later. Okay, next you want to take the blueprints and you want to make sure that the water is on the top side of this screen. We're taking the blueprint called main top left, because we need to start with the passport. We can place it here, and then we can take the main top right and nicely place it next to the top left. These two are placed. Then we can take the main middle left. There we go. And then we can take main middle right. And next, actually, you want to take the main bottom right, because this will help position the main factory. So you can place it here. And as you can see now, we got a nice spot, so you know exactly where to place your main factory here. And finally, I'm going to take the main bottom left, and we're going to place it right here. This unfortunately is not enough, because there's a lot of unconnected outlets now, and also all of our seeders don't have seeds in them. So in this case, you want to let's add seeds first. So from the right side, we have a seeder here. You want to add the sand leaf here. This is sand leaf. Then next seeder we will have here. This is also sand leaf. And then also we have a seeder here, and this one also uses sand leaf. Now, I really wish that they would allow blueprints to save which plants are in them, but it is what it is. So all the sand leaves are in place. Then let's see if I didn't miss anything. No, I did not miss anything. We have one more seeder and planter here, but this one is not using sand leaf. This one is actually for the construction of these syringes, and for this we need the Yasin solution. So this we want to put here the Yasin seeds, and when we connect water, this will plant Yasin seeds into Yasin, and we will get what we need. Okay, so this was all the planters. Next thing we want to connect is water, but before I mention that, you want to place 6 water pumps in the left channel and 3 water pumps in the right channel. This one here is the outlet. This will be putting water back into the reservoir here. And also, since you can see here, you can also connect them exactly like you see on the screen to the inlets. Okay, so now let's disconnect inlets from the left side to the right side. So first of all, we will need a water inlet right. This is sewage. This one is water here. So we want to connect that one. To here. And we'll take one more water. To enter cups, it's easier. So we have one water over here. The next water that we want to connect is going to be, to not make a mistake, this is sewage, this is water here. Yes. So this one here is water, right next to reactors. That's two. The next one is here, and if I recall, actually this one has no use. It's a spare that I created. Yeah, that is a spare, so we can ignore this one. The fourth one is connected directly to this machine, so you can create a pipe. The fifth and sixth one, there's two of them, and they are connected to one inlet, and this inlet actually goes all the way here. And mind you, this is actually not required to have two in here, because there's only two refineries, so actually you can connect only one. But anyway, that's how it will be connected. Now for the top side, these two together are connected to one inlet, and they go to this outlet that takes care of 4 of these refining units. And then this one here has to be connected to the reactors here. So we'll connect this right now. That takes care of water. And now there's also sewage. We have 2 sewage outlets. They are located right here at the bottom right side. We will take the first one here and we will connect it to here. Right here. I think of it, I could have actually made this a normal pipe. This factory is a little bit chaotic, but it works, and I think I follow the function of the form design. Now we have the second inlet, and this goes here to the second set of the battery production. There. Now, these two over here are going to the purifying unit. This is the process that will use this byproduct here called inert zircon effluent, and this will refine it back into actual zircon. So we are saving a total of 30 zircon by doing this, which is pretty nice because you can sell it for stocks and use it to produce components. So let's connect this one over here to this one over here. And then we will connect this one over here to this one over here. There we go. And finally, this zircon that is being refined here can take from here, all the way here. Okay, now that everything is connected, I will do a very short explanation of this one. So on the bottom right side here we have the regular refining units for the sewage, and this sewage is exclusively used for battery production. I split this because you don't actually want sewage connected to these purifying water treatment plants. This will ensure continuous production, so you'll never run out. This part here is the battery production, number 1, and then right here is the second one. This is copied, and these are producing 12 batteries per minute. 9 will be sold, 3 are used over here as power for entire Wuling area. And right over here you might see this weird unconnected facility. Now this actually is used to fill water bottles when you're doing exploration. You might not need it anymore. I don't need it anymore personally, but all you have to do is select the empty bottles here, and this will automatically fill your bottles, however many you have, with water. Then we are producing a total of 6 syringes per minute. These are completely sold over to the outposts. And finally, this is the important part here. So we're actually producing heavy xeronite, 6 per minute. And some of the zircon here is used to produce components. Now this is a very slow production. Zircon components are produced at around 5,000 units per week, which is enough for 100 crafts. And now mind you, because you get only 100 catalysts per week, this is actually enough to artifice fully every week. Now these ones here are produced a little bit slower. I reckon 75 crafts per week. So total is like 3,500 components. And for this reason here, I have these 2 refining units. They are being split. So 30 is going directly over to the outpost. This will be used to produce the new components that we added in the latest patch. Meanwhile, these here, 30 is split 2 15s, and here is a 15 split into 7.5. And again here, this one you can see this one comes back. So actually this is 22.5 over here, and this is 7.5 over here. And this again is split with 3.75 going to storage, and another 3.75 used for components. You can hopefully trust me, this is enough to build anything you want, and as also you have enough components to artifice as much as you like. Okay, this is everything here, so we can move on to the outposts, and these outposts are going to be easier to build. Let's start with the Jingli Valley. Now Jingli Valley is the outpost that I call the outpost without acid. And you want to position your camera so that the water puddle over here is on the north side. So we're going to delete everything first, not the zipline. Now here I don't actually use the main factory, so you can leave it. There's no outputs needed or anything like this. You will need to create 4 water pumps, and they need to be set up like this. And also there'll be a little pipe missing here because I couldn't get it in the blueprint area. We will take a blueprint outpost 2 north, and you can see here it says north side without acid. We will place that like here, and then we take the outpost to south and we place it like here. And that's it. So placement is easy. Like I said, you might need to create this pipeline here and also these pipelines here. We want to add seeds because this output is purely producing xeronite, and I know this is not the most efficient way to produce xeronite when it comes to space, but it doesn't matter because in the end the factories produce everything you need and there's still space left. So all of this is using the new plants because we need to turn them into charcoal, and they are more efficient than sand leaf. So in each case we will be using Yazen. Oh, my bad, this is actually like this. So you put Yazen here, you put Yazen here, here, and here. That's 4 times. Now this will be refined nicely into charcoal, and you can see from 1 to 2, meanwhile sand leaf is 1 to 1. So this one is more efficient. If you are ever not using that, this is always better to use. And over here we need sand leaf. So all 3 of these are sand leaf. So we will put sand leaf here, put sand leaf here, and here. And now sand leaf, actually, this factory produces slightly more than you need. It's good because sand leaf powder can be used for deliveries. Should always be using that, it's really efficient. I believe this is it. There's 4 planters and 3 planters with sand leaf. This is already going to start producing zircon, and this is sent to the outpost. So we are done here. And finally we go to marker stone. Okay, let's again remove everything like we always do. Now, here before we start placing anything, you want to make sure your facility is... actually first align your camera so that the water and acid pools are on the left. Then you have to place the factory. You have to place it to the corner and 2 squares up. Then you want to select heavy xeronite production in the first output on the north here, and as a second one. And then you want to put the ferrium bottles on the bottom left here, and heavy xeronite in the middle. These 2 can be empty, they don't matter. Then we will take the blueprint, and we will make the outpost 1 north with acid, you can see in the description. And outpost 1 south. There we go. And as you can see, again, this acid pipe, for example, is outside of the blueprint range, so you will have to manually add it. There will be 1 acid pump here and 1 acid pump here. And this one is not an acid pump, this one is the supply unit, because we'll be throwing acid back to the pool at some point. And for water you want 3 water pumps, and you will have to also connect them with pipes. Okay, now this facility produces some xeronite and also produces some new components, and for this reason we need to add seeds first. Once again, we have Yazen here, here, and here, and sand here and here. There will be a little bit of connection needed. There's 2 outlets here in this factory. So first we will take this acid inlet and connect it here, because we need acid in the facility. Go from here. And here. And then second is the other way. So we will take this acid from here, which is the byproduct of this process here, and this acid will go back to the pool here. Now the reason I'm doing this is because maybe you're familiar with games like Satisfactory or Factorio, but in those games you can quite easily control flow of liquids. so that you can make sure that your byproducts are used first and not the acid from pumps. But in this game I'm not so sure about that, and I want to avoid a situation where I'm feeding the acid from the pump and from the byproduct, and the acid from pump gets prioritized, which would make this byproduct max out over here, and this would halt the production. And because we are constantly being fed acid from the inlet pipe from the lake, this would never get used. So I'm not so sure about that. I never tried it, but I don't want to risk it. This is a safer approach. Now the most important thing about this particular facility is that we take the ground cuprium from the first main factory. There's a process here that is creating this cuprium solution. Here we create hetonite solution, hetonite into actual hetonite rock, and then into hetonite part. Now, important part is you actually don't need that many hetonite parts. So I'm splitting it, even though this is actually very little to begin with. I'm splitting it over here, half and half, and then here 25% goes here, and it's sent to protocol stash. Meanwhile, 25% total production is used for components. Now, this actually is around 1 part per minute, or actually even less, and that is fine because these are only used to produce the newest towers, and you don't actually need that many of them. And this will slowly stockpile them over the next month or so. You will definitely have enough of them, and you can also sell them for stock. Meanwhile, these components here, they are used to create the new gear, but just like a quick digression from me, I would advise that you never use this gear to artifice if you can avoid it, because as you can see here, it uses 25,000 stock build per item, and these stats are not any higher than Xelenite gear, by the way. So instead of using 25 bullying stocks per artifice attempt, why don't you just take the Eternal Xelenite, for example? Why don't you just take the materials created with Xelenite components, which only cost 8,000? And you can pretty much always find a good one to make a match. So yeah, don't use the new parts. Use them to craft new gear. Don't use them for artificial. It's not worth it. It's not efficient. Yep. How about it? I have made some calculations already, and when you have the maxed out outposts with the best in slot operators, which is Tank and Zwan, then this will actually be enough to max out the production of these outposts. And on top of that, you have all the components that exist in Wuling, so you can create any gear and you will always have enough to fully artifice 100 times per week. So hopefully this is going to be enough. Now, as you can see here, there's some weird problem with this water pump. It's always worth checking. Don't make some mistakes, let me know. That's the blueprint issue, by the way, not actual placement, but the blueprints sometimes don't connect pipes. So make sure you check everything. Okay, that's it. I hope this was informative enough, and sorry I was yapping so long.